What up? What up? October 29th. Welcome to the Opps SportsCast. So much has happened in the world of sports, ladies and gentlemen, since the last time we've been with you. And so we're going to get into quite a bit today. We're going to be covering everything from week 8 in the NFL, lots of drama, lots of good games, and some interesting stories. Definitely developed everything from Justin Fields talking about outside noise to my man JT, another 3 touchdown game. My goodness, the man is a monster. Uh, MLB baseball, World Series baseball. Shohei doing Shohei things, man. But Blue Jays battling back. I mean, there's been quite a series. We're going to be talking about sports gambling since the last time we've been with you. Man, I think it was like almost immediately afterwards, the FBI took the stage and their announcement shocked the world, right? And so we're going to be getting into that and more. But if it's your first time joining us, make sure that you like and subscribe on the way in. It definitely helps the algorithm to get us out there. And let me introduce the starting lineup for the Op Sportscast. Starting to my left.
It's Josh from Eastside.
Yes, sir. And immediately below.
It's your boy Big Zeke.
And last but certainly not least.
What's up, everybody? It's Dave in the cut.
In the building. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have some fun tonight. As always, you can leave a comment and join the conversation with us. We always like to have your input, your feedback, or just to say what's up. Let us know that you're in the chat, and we'll reciprocate that energy. And so, first thing that we want to get into today is obviously what went down in Week 8. And so, why don't we throw that up on the screen here for the viewers?
Right.
Yeah.
Quick, boom.
Last week, we were talking about who deserves to be in the MVP conversation. And you know what's crazy is that I'm still not seeing his name brought up nearly as much as it should. But my man is on pace to break LaDainian Tomlinson's record of touchdowns in a season. I think I heard that LaDainian Tomlinson had 6 such games, of which Jonathan Taylor now has 4 such games already this season. And so this past week, he scored another 3 touchdowns. I get it, it was against the Tennessee Titans, but it was another 3 touchdown performance against the Tennessee Titans. And now in half of the games this year, he has scored 3 touchdowns. Did anyone have that on their bingo cards? I certainly did not see that coming. You saw that coming?
Yeah, because he's on my fantasy team.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, you made a right choice because your team is doing great, all because of that. And unfortunately, I think I was playing you this week too. Ironically, I was playing you this week, and I'm just there like, man, I'm rooting for JT, but you're killing me, bro. You're killing me.
I got him this week.
Oh, yeah, it ain't gonna be pretty. I think they're gonna.
When I drafted Rashee Rice, he was suspended.
Yeah, you're looking pretty right now. You know what's interesting is that a lot of people are asking the question, are the Bills back? A lot of people were ready to write them off if they lost to the Carolina Panthers this weekend, but they won in convincing fashion. But fellas, are they back?
Who's going with first?
I like Josh's expression. I'll throw it to Josh.
All right. Are the Bills back? I mean, I think the Bills are doing what the Bills do.
Oh boy.
Traditionally, historically, and year after year. I mean, they are a solid team, I would say, but there's some questionability from coaching staff to playability and durability. And so I know that they got some injuries on the defense. They're not what they once were in the recent years. I'm not going to say they're back right now. I think in order to call that, they're going to have to play a team that actually has a good, decent record and a good squad and walk them in order to even consider them the juggernaut.
You're trying to be nice, Josh.
I am. I'm trying to. I have to be aware that we live in upstate Western New York, and there's a lot of Bills fans out here that may or may not be listening to. But um, I honestly, at the end of the day, they're doing what the Bills do.
I got a feeling Zeke won't be so polite. What do you think, brother?
Listen, who are they playing this week?
This week coming up, or who they played?
Who are they playing this week coming up?
Dang, I don't even
Oh, the
know.
Chiefs.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, big
Show
game.
me something in that game.
yeah.
Show me something in
Okay,
that game.
so if
And
they win
even
this
and
week,
even
they're
then,
back.
I need to see them do it in the playoffs because you beat the Chiefs every year, or I know they beat them last year in the regular season. I think they beat them the year before the regular season, but it doesn't matter because when
Ooh.
you face Mahomes in the playoffs, he does what he does. So, I mean, show me what you can do against the Chiefs this year. That might catapult you to a nice run to finish the season strong. But then you got to show it to me in the playoffs. And if not, then like Josh says, the Bills do what the Bills do. It is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a test because I think most people are ready to announce that the Chiefs are back. I think most people feel comfortable saying that, especially after Rasheed Rice and Xavier Worthy made their return. And the offense is starting to look like an offense again because in the beginning of the year, it just looked atrocious. But they didn't have any of their weapons after Xavier Worthy went down with an injury after like the first play or something. And so they didn't look like their normal selves, but they're looking pretty good. They're looking like contenders again. So we'll see what comes out of that and see if the Bills can officially announce their return to leaderboards if you're ranking the top 10 teams this week.
Speaking of the Chiefs,
Um,
did you guys see that hit to Pacheco's knee?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, the replay showed it. It literally bent like it was like
yeah.
this.
It
Went
was crazy.
sideways, hit him on the side of his knee, and it bent the opposite direction.
Then he
Like
went on
I'm
the
surprised.
sideline and they massaged it, and he popped right back up.
I'm like, whoa, that dude is like a rubber band.
Yeah,
He's crazy.
it's crazy.
nasty,
Mhm.
nasty. Okay. And so what was crazy is that Flacco's playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's trying his best, just like Burrow used to, where he would put up these ridiculous offensive numbers and somehow they would still lose. That's exactly what Joe Flacco did this weekend against the most surprising team, the New York Jets. New York Jets, the 0 and 0 and 7 New York Jets, who are now 1 and 7. And after the game, I know we don't have the comments or the video, but after the game, they were asking Jets quarterback Justin Fields um, what he thought about all the noise and or excuse me, what he thought about all the I forget how they worded it about all the pressure that he had put on him, and the way that he framed it was I don't pay attention to outside noise. And so the reporter then clarifies but some of that is not outside. Some of that is from the owner of your organization. And he goes on to say, if it ain't inside of the locker room, it's outside noise. I consider it all outside noise. And I know, like Dave, you gave my man a lot of props back in the day. For how that young man handled himself. What do you make of those last comments?
I watched the interview that he did. Actually, it wasn't an interview. It was the post game where he was talking about how he was actually affected by this whole thing. How the week leading up to the game, how he spent a lot of time at his home in his closet on the floor crying, and he was leaning on friends and family and his faith to get him through the week. And I think that outside noise, I think that him stating it that way is perfectly um, perfectly worded because that's exactly what it is. Woody doesn't put on any kind of uniform. He basically does is sign checks, and he doesn't even really do that. He just makes sure that the coffers are full. So anything that Woody has to say is outside noise. His he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to the talent level of this young man. Um, I give him a lot of credit for taking the high road, even with these comments. I don't feel like saying it's outside noise. I don't feel like that's disrespect to your owner or to the organization at all. But Justin Fields is a good kid, man. He's shown that since he was in Chicago, and I said that before. You're not going to get much out of him. Nothing. You can tell that he has a solid team behind him and a solid foundation. He's comfortable with who he is and what his abilities are. He's not going to go back and forth with people and waste his time. Um, so I wasn't surprised by it. I was surprised by the fact that he said he was emotional, that week. I think it was telling, and it was it was brave of him to be that vulnerable and give up that much information about his mental state, considering the game that he plays in. He's the quarterback, and how locker rooms can be. So, but yeah, I'm always gonna ride with Fields, man. He's a good kid, and I just wish him nothing but the best. I hope he gets into a better situation somewhere where people are gonna appreciate him. I hope he can pull a Baker Mayfield and land somewhere where he's truly needed. And even though he may not be, his play might not be glamorous, and he may not be that upper echelon of player, he's going to be respected for what he brings to a team.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And so, two things regarding Week 8 that I still want to get into. I know there was a lot of people that were giving Carson Wentz a lot of flack, right, for the way that he was performing and for his mannerisms on the field. And it was revealed this week that he had an injury that he suffered, what was it, almost 2 weeks ago. And he's been playing the games through that injury. And so much so that he had a sling. The injury was revealed to be a season. Well, after last week's loss to the Chargers, which I mean they really looked really pathetic. It was a 37-10 beatdown. Wentz was finally taken off of the field, and he was seen grimacing multiple times during the game. And afterwards, he had shoulder surgery. He had like a torn labrum, shoulder socket surgery, and so not good. And then now the Minnesota Vikings organization is receiving a little bit of flack for allowing him to go out there and play. Do you guys hold the Minnesota Vikings organization responsible for allowing a player to go out there and put themselves in harm's way? Do you think they should have took him out even though he wanted to play?
No. Especially with Wentz's age, I think we're seeing the end of the Carson Wentz era. Honestly, no, and here's why: because Carson Wentz, I mean, he's been in the league. I don't know what 11 years. So
Nick
he's
Foles ended the Carson Wentz era.
nah, not really. I'm gonna tell you why. Wentz ended the Wentz era, and here's why: because I was just talking to the guys just before you came on, Zeke, and discussed it. Wentz during his 2017 almost MVP campaign against the LA Rams just before the playoffs, he suffered from a torn ACL, LCL, and damaged meniscus in his left knee while he was rushing for a touchdown in the end zone, and he got smushed between two defenders. They tackled him from both sides. He went in the next play. They called the touchdown back. He went in the next play with a torn ACL, LCL, and damaged meniscus, threw for a touchdown, and then left the game after that to go get some X-rays and whatnot. And so we all know the history. But after that, Foles comes in, completes the season, wins the Eagles' first Super Bowl.
It's a statue.
He gets a statue, no lie, with him and Doug Peterson. But I say that because Wentz, it wasn't anybody else's decision to run the ball. It was Wentz's decision. And Wentz always put himself in very risky situations when he was outside of the pocket. And so that was just his play style. He's kind of one of those rough bruiser type guys. And so I think the Vikings needed someone to come in and play for him, right? Because of the McCarthy issue, injury, and they were having some issues with their backup. So they had Wentz in the game. And to be honest, there was no expectation that Wentz was going to close out the season for them. They just needed somebody to get them through a couple of those games. And um, it was on Wentz, I think, to make the decision to get out there even to play. And it's just his type, his mentality, and I think he knew that it was towards the end of his career, and he was just going to go out there and give it his all. So I really don't hold the Vikings organization really accountable at all because I mean Wentz was towards the end, and it was almost inevitable.
Yeah. Speaking of injuries, did you guys see my man Scatterbo's injury in the game against the Eagles?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, such a promising young man. And what's crazy is he started. I mean, in New York, you play a little good in New York, and they're gonna make you a star. And that man was starting to become a star. You saw him everywhere, and CTE Scatterbo, and they were just like making fun of his play style because everybody just really enjoyed his play style. And my man's leg just got caught underneath a defender and snapped. Oh, just horrible,
And
horrible.
they
Done for
said
the
it was
season.
they said it was worse than they thought.
Yes, it looked worse when I saw it too, because they were saying it was a dislocated ankle. A dislocated ankle is like what we saw last year with Chris Godwin when he was on the field. He had a dislocated ankle, and that looked nasty too. That
Yeah.
looked nasty. Foot pointing in the wrong direction. That looked like it was a nub, and I'm there like, bro, if that's your ankle, like, what's like, why does it look like that, bro? Like, it looked different, and so like, yeah, my man, he snapped his fibula too, or broke his fibula at least.
Oof.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
prayers up for the homie Scatterbo. Hopefully he gets well soon, and we can see his talents on full display again next year sometime. But we got to get into what we talked about last week, don't we?
Yes.
Why, yes, we do. Last week, if you remember on the podcast, we were talking about um, a certain someone, right, that was saying Dak needs more credit. You know what I mean? He's balling out of his mind. He deserves to be in the MVP conversation. And a couple guys on the podcast was there like, yo, Bo Nix is not getting enough credit too. And argument ensued. And, at the end, I kind of pointed out that guess what, guys? They play each other this week. We can see once and for all in a head to head matchup who's really that guy. And Josh, you want to take it from there? What happened?
I think it's very clear, based on the scores that we have in front of us. The Cowboys got walked over. Um, Final score: Broncos 44, Cowboys 24, and Dak did not have his most glamorous game. Um, Now, I'd like to say on the record that Dak is a good quarterback. Um, he has seen trial and and he's gone through the test many one of times. Um, Unfortunately, he's injury prone as of late, and I don't think that his value um, is even seen on the Cowboys roster sometimes because unfortunately the organization is plagued by poor management and poor ownership, and they don't truly see value where value is due. Um, Props are due. And so I'd like to say for the record, Dak's a good quarterback. You can't deny his playability. But that boy Bo Nix, on the other hand, he showed up and he showed out. and he played very well, very well. And it goes to show in the final score. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious to hear what everybody else has to say.
Bo Nix, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dak Prescott, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Zeke, the floor is yours.
Nah, man, let me jump in here real quick because
Go ahead.
I don't like how y'all trying to set my boy Zeke up. I don't like this. So if you notice, when we had the banner up there was a question mark at the end where it says Zeke has the E pro, right?
Mm.
And I want to go on the record and say he did say that if his defense didn't play well, it wouldn't be his fault, right? He did say that, right? It's easy
Yes, he
for
did.
Dak to not have a good game when he's going up against who? Who was that quarterback again?
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix.
Oh, Knicks. Who did David Nicott say was the number one MVP candidate right now? Who did David Nicott say last week?
Bo Nix.
Unprompted. Peasy, you didn't think so. I
Nah, I
told
thought it
you
was
that young
JT.
man. I told you that young man was number one on my board as the number one MVP candidate so far, regardless of being quarterback or whatever. What this kid is so hot right now, man. Anybody, I'm gonna tell you right now, the Colts go up against him. We're gonna have problems with him. We
We
are.
beat him.
We're gonna have. I'm talking about moving forward, bro. We're gonna have problems with
Oh,
this kid's heating up. All right. We look at the weapons that we have right now. So there's no wonder. You know what I'm saying? This kid is heating up, man. And I'm telling you right now, if somebody doesn't take a look at this kid, um, as the number one option, the number one candidate for MVP, man, there's a problem. A lot of teams would have struggled with that offense, man. So I can't really. The Cowboys are dealing with a lot right now, and so I can't really fault Dak. Dak has been cooking with the groceries that he's been given. You know what I'm saying? And it's not
bro,
been
he's
one.
got some. He's got some good groceries. I mean,
I mean,
CeeDee Lamb. What's his name?
Pickens.
George
Pickens.
Jenkins.
Yeah. Jaden Williams is balling out of his mind. Or Javante.
Ferguson.
Sorry,
But I
Javante
mean,
Williams balling out of his mind. He's got some good weapons.
you can't go out there every week, man, and putting up 35, 40 points and expecting your defense to help you out. The defense is doing nothing to help them out. I'm gonna like give up the rest of my time to Zeke and let Zeke say his piece, man. I yield.
Listen, I don't recall saying Bo Nix was trash. Um, but I do recall saying that Dak deserved more love that he was given up to that point in the season. Did he have his best game? No. Um, but our defense has been known to make good quarterbacks look like Hall of Famers. Our defense was known this year to make not so good quarterbacks look like Pro Bowlers. So Dak has been put in a position where he has to be darn near perfect every time he goes out there. So props to Bo Nix for doing what good quarterbacks are supposed to do. He took a defense who, even at 100%, is trash. Um, and this week they were severely depleted. Excuse? I don't think it's an excuse. It's a fact. If you look at the defense that was on the field this week, we had a lot of starters missing. That being said, um, yeah, I don't take back anything I said about Dak as a quarterback. I honestly feel that if Dak Prescott had the luxury of going against the Cowboys defense every week on the teams that have beaten us, he would have similar numbers to those quarterbacks that beat us. So Dak is still a great quarterback in my eyes. The Cowboys have a lot of holes to fill on defense. Yes, Dak has a lot of good groceries, but we all know in the NFL when you make a team one dimensional by just boat racing them, and after a while, when you have a defense like the Broncos, where they number one, number two in sacks, they're on pace to break the Bears record for sacks in a season. Um, that's a good defense that he went up against. And when you become one dimensional against a defense like that, not a whole lot you can do. Yes, Javante Williams has been running the ball. Yes, we've had some surprising uh, performances from our running backs. But when you're down two, three scores, nobody's worried about the running back. They know you're going to throw the ball. Um, Look, the Cowboys will bounce back from this. I hope. I mean, I don't know what more they can do on defense. Eventually, those players are going to come back, but it is what it is. I look. I've told you guys in private. I'm gonna say it on the podcast. I tapped out before the season even started. So watching that game Sunday, it really didn't surprise me. It really didn't stress me out too much. It is what it is. The biggest headache I got from that game was knowing that I was gonna have to hear from Chris and Josh for this week on the podcast. But even with that, it is what it is. So Zeke eating crow? No. I don't know what y'all were expecting, but I'm not taking back anything I said about Dak Prescott. I've always supported Dak
I'm
Prescott.
I'm not gonna lie. I would have been very surprised if you ate crow.
Okay,
Um,
I'm glad you know your boy.
but it's worth a try. It's worth a try. But
Good cliffhanger for the audience. Ooh, is he gonna
that's
take it back?
right.
No.
We gotta leave a teaser out there. You know what I'm saying? So get to
I
pull the
guess.
audience in. Is Zeke gonna eat crow? Ooh, this is box office right here. I'll tell you the answer
Sorry.
is no.
Dud.
10 toes down. He's gonna stand by it. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. But on the flip side of that, you got the reason probably why the Cowboys defense is trash is because they traded Micah Parsons and now Green Bay Packers number one
Listen,
seed. That's
listen.
crazy.
When Jerry came out after that first game and said we were one impactful player away on defense from winning that game, I wanted to reach through the screen and punch him. Like, dude, seriously? Like you traded that guy. You got rid of him. Micah Parsons single-handedly made that secondary look way better than he was. And now it's getting exposed. And
Indeed.
between Micah not being there and then the injuries, I mean, you paid Deron Bland all that money and he's doing nothing. And Trayvon Diggs, I mean, ah, starting to look like
Yeah,
a
but
bust.
well, I mean, to be fair to those guys, I think any cornerback in the league is not going to do well if you don't have someone pressuring the quarterback. Because quarterbacks that have plenty of time, eventually people get open. I
Hmm.
mean, you
Exactly.
said it yourself. Is there like that defense? And so I'll give you credit for that. I mean, you're right on that. That defense has made a lot of players look like Pro Bowlers, and we need to look no further than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson looked like he had a revival against the
Went
Dallas
blow for
Cowboys.
blow with the Cowboys until he remembered he
Yes,
was Russell Wilson and threw up that duck down the middle of the field.
that's right. And then the very next week he was gone. And so yeah, no, I mean you're right. I mean the Cowboys defense ain't nothing, but Dak did not look like an MVP that game at all. But let's keep it moving, fellas. Let's jump to the next topic. Why don't you just throw that up there? Um, MLB World Series taking place and I know the game is going on right now, and I believe that the Blue Jays started off the game with with back-to-back home runs, and so we'll see if they can actually take the edge on the Los Angeles Dodgers. But before that, it was an incredible bounce-back game to even get the series to a tie 2-2, which it is now after they lost a heartbreaking 18 inning classic. The only reason I say that with a question mark is for those on the West Coast, that game ended around midnight. For those of us, like most of us watching here on the East Coast, that game ended after 3 in the morning. Fellas, did you guys stay awake to watch that?
I was
Yeah,
Absolutely
I,
not.
I was asleep at 1:30, bro. It was a wrap.
Yeah, I couldn't bring my and so that was the word on the street, man. Even diehards, bro, staying up to 3 in the morning is crazy because the game went for usually the game is like and MLB has been better over the years. When they instituted the pitch clock, games have been shortening. I think the average game is now just under 2.5 hours. right? And so the average time of the game has been shortening. But without the extra inning rule, right? In the regular season, the extra inning rules, you put a man at second base. And so you start the extra innings with a man already in scoring position, and that has helped the game speed up so you don't have these 18 innings in the regular season. Usually it goes about an inning or so, and somebody's winning that game. Someone's knocking in that runner from second. Is it time to bring the extra inning rule from the regular season to the playoffs?
Let's vote on this.
All right. Five being full agreement,
Bring
one
it back to the
being
vote.
not in agreement. Yes, we are. And one, two, three, four. Oh, wow. Okay, Zeke actually wants to see it. Let's start with you, Zeke. Go ahead,
So hold
bro.
on, for the people
I
that's
was I was gonna go with three, but
audio
I knew
only,
Josh was here this week,
You
so
know
I
I'm
figured
here to
he'd
give
throw
it
up
a
his
three,
three.
bruh.
hold up, hold up.
Um,
We gotta let everybody know what they picked in case people are only audio only. So
Okay.
okay,
All
go
right.
ahead.
no
So
matter what,
I would
go ahead.
Dave in the cut is at a one. Chris Peasy's at a two. Josh is at a three, and Zeke is at a four. And so he was the most ready to bring the rule to the postseason. Zeke, let him know why.
Okay, so again, I went with the four because I wanted to give Josh the floor with his three. Um,
My guy.
so I consider myself a somewhat of a baseball purist. I'm not as dedicated to the old school as my boy Dave. Um, do I think they need to bring it copy paste? No. Don't start extra innings. Just the 10th inning, we can throw a runner on second base. Don't do that. But if you get to like the 13th, 14th inning, all right, throw somebody out there. Because like you said, game ends at 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's watching that? Like, we all know time schedules and they're biased towards the East Coast. Like, the game starts at 8 o'clock over here. That's 5 o'clock over there. People barely got enough time to get out of work to get to the stadium. They don't care about that. The game is catered toward the East Coast. So yeah, you got a game. It's already bad enough where a regular game ends at 11:30, but people got to get up in the morning to go to work. But to have the game end at 3 o'clock because nobody could score, they played two full games, my dude.
Yes.
They played two full games and then had to come back. What? The game ends at 3 o'clock. They got to come back. What? 15 hours later to play another game. The math is my math ain't math, and I know because I'm sleepy. But yeah, less than 24 hours later, they got to come out and play another game. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for the players because I mean I don't know. It
I
doesn't
think that
have
was
necessarily have
powerful,
to be
bro.
copy paste where 10th inning we put somebody on there, but that's why I didn't go full five. But I think they need to bring it over and implement it with a tweak. We get to the 12th, 13th inning. All right, put somebody out there. Let's get this
Hey,
over with.
you might have convinced me. That was a strong take. Uh, Dave, sway me back to where I started, bro.
All right, I got a question for you guys.
Hmm.
Oh boy,
Be
the
like,
answer about to be in black and white, yo.
what happened on April 18th through the 19th, 1981? Please tell
The
me.
longest game in history involving the Red Wings and somebody else. It was like
Whoa,
33 innings and nobody cares.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Nobody cares because it's in the Hall of Fame. They got the scoreboard in the Hall of Fame. So let's slow your roll with that. This
Mm.
game was amazing. I grew up 4 blocks from Silver Stadium, and I feel bad. I hate that the game didn't take place there. I wouldn't have been there because my Uncle Harold would have had us out of that game long after that. 8 hours and 25 minutes.
Oh
Dang.
my
That's a
goodness.
whole work shift, my guy.
Okay, bro. Our beloved Rochester Red Wings played in that game, the longest game in baseball history, man. Okay, and our team, there's a lot of things that our team is known for, and that's one of them. And I'm so proud of that, man, because um, it was a classic game, man. They played the game, man. 8 hours. They played until 6 in the morning, bro. All right. And so can you not be romantic about something like that happening in the game that you love, man? I would
Very
have
easy.
loved to be at a baseball game for 8 hours and 25 minutes.
Oh, you
My
wouldn't.
wife would
But
have. My wife
uh,
would have left. She
you're
would have.
not
Bruh,
convincing me, man.
Dave,
You're not.
Dave,
I
Dave.
told you to try to
Those
convince me
benches,
back.
those benches
Listen,
that
I
we
You
sit
don't
on
care
at
about
church for
convincing
2 hours
y'all.
are painful. You thought
no,
you was
I
about to
don't care
sit at
about
Silver
convincing y'all.
Stadium for 8 hours?
Listen,
heck
man.
no.
Ball is life, man, and so there we do not need a rule where the game is going through its natural progression, man. It's going through its I don't care if they
There's
have
nothing natural about 18 innings.
huh? What?
Huh? There's
What'd you say?
nothing natural about 18 innings.
Man, come on, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what's natural about it. John Schneider cost the team the game back when he allowed Shohei Ohtani to hit the second home run. He should have been. Everybody's like, oh, Shohei broke the record for being walked 5 consecutive times in one game. He should have been walked 9 times, in my opinion. I'm gonna tell you, man. First time he came up to bat, 4 fingers. David DeCut said 4 fingers, walk him. I don't care if nobody's on base, walk him. Okay. The object of
We
the game
found out
is
you're
not
giving him the
to
Barry
entertain
Bonds treatment.
the object of the game is not to entertain the fans, it's to win the game. All right. Josh Schneider had his opportunity to win the game and he blew it. So then you suffer the consequences. You go through the natural progression of the game. Do you have to bring out your bullpen? Do you have to exhaust your bullpen? Do you have to bring that's just a part of the game, man. Once you get somebody like Manfred coming in saying, you know what we're gonna do? In the middle of the game, we're gonna change the world. You think somebody gonna change the rules in the middle of a World Series game to appease people who want to go to bed? Go to bed. Go to bed, man. It's the World Series. This game is going to be it's like jousting, bro. It's like whoever gets knocked off their horse loses, and it is what it is. If you don't like it, man, stay home. If you don't like it, sell your ticket to the next game and give it to somebody that want to see a team play for 8 hours, like your boy. So I'm done.
It'll be you
All
and the
right.
Bears.
So you heard the pro and the against commentary, Josh. You were on the fence. Tell me, did one of them sway you?
No. What I heard was Zeke to put an emphasis on fans and players, making it fair. We might have just dropped Peasy for a minute. Hopefully he comes
That's
back.
that
We
that's
swayed
our
him
that's
right
our
out of
weekly Word Peasy Go segment.
we swayed him right out of the podcast.
Bro, am I back? I'm back, right?
You're
Yeah.
Yeah,
back.
you're
You're
back.
back. You're back.
Okay. Man, I saw you freeze right after you started talking. I'm there like, Josh, you gonna say something? And I'm there like, wait a minute, it's me. All
Oh,
right,
shoot.
go ahead. My bad, bro.
So as I was saying, Zeke put an emphasis on fans and players. Dave says keep the game natural because ball is life. I say this. Um, neither one of them persuade me off my teeter totter right here in the middle. Um, I could say if that's how Zeke feels, then more power to him. And I could say how if that's how Dave feels, more power to him. But good old Josh, who doesn't understand the dynamics of the sports of the game of baseball as well as some of you guys, I just quick needed to know why the postseason rule and why the extra inning rule. And the difference is the postseason rule keeps the games as a test of traditional baseball,
That's
while the
right.
regular season rule was implemented to protect pitchers' arms and keep games from becoming too long. My question is if the MLB cares that much in the regular season to not keep games from getting too long and protect pitchers' arms, then what's the difference in the postseason? I guess would be my question. And I
Well,
Especially when they have a game later that day.
and I would
mm,
yes, agreed. And I would say to Dave's as I understand what Dave's saying is like keep the game as traditional as it is. And if there's anything that I hate the most is a tie record. Peasy, like
Yeah.
you said, like you said, the Green Bay Packers are at the top of the NFC right now, and they have a tie against the
You're
Cowboys.
Weak,
welcome.
Against the
You're
weak.
welcome.
Cowboys.
Let,
That
let
is
me let me
so
say this real quick.
trash.
My logic is this: you're being well compensated to play a child's game, bro. You're out there hitting the ball in pajamas, bro. All right, and you're getting millions of dollars to do it.
Dude.
Listen to feel me. Just rock with me for a minute, okay? You're getting well compensated to do this. All right, you're getting kabillions to do this.
Dave,
Completely.
you already gave your take, man.
Listen, man. This is what
Yeah,
I'm
where the
saying.
Sandman at? Get
7
him
game
off the
series.
stage.
This is a
That's right.
7 game series. You have plenty of time to rest your arm in the off season, bro. This is it. Gladiator
Bruh.
school. This is the end game. This is it, man.
All
This
right,
is
let
it.
me give you my take because I voted a two because I wasn't as serious as you were on it as to go one where I'm there like absolutely never change it,
Oh,
and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of shifted a little bit more to the middle because Zeke convinced me quite a bit. The reason I was thinking was they're like, you can't have these games going that late in the night. You got to start, if you're on the West Coast, you got to think of the East Coast audience, was my original thinking. But Zeke, I think, made a very compelling argument where he was talking about, hey, maybe the 12th or the 13th inning. And I'll tell you why that convinced me is because realistically, if the game had gone one more inning, Dave, did I lose you again? Oh, because you froze for a second. Okay. All right.
Nope.
I was
He's
just making
listening
sure.
intently.
All right. If the game had gone one
panicking.
more inning, yeah, he went so still. I thought I lost him. If the game had gone one more inning, uh, I believe it was the Blue Jays that were going to start throwing out position players.
That's what
Now,
you don't want in the World
That's the
Series.
deep
that's
thinking.
exactly where I'm going with this, Zeke. And so, like, as a baseball purist, I can speak for baseball purists. I think don't nobody want to see that.
Bro.
Don't nobody want to see that.
I don't care if
And
they
so it's
started bringing dudes' mamas out of the stands.
no, 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 no. Don't
I
nobody
don't
want to see that, Dave.
I
Don't
don't
nobody want to see that. It makes a mockery of the game in the regular season and on the game's biggest level. You do not want to see that on the game's biggest level. Not at all. Nobody wants to see that, bro. We want to keep the game pure, but that ain't the pure game, bro. That's not it. And so, like, no, I agree with Zeke, bro. After 12, maybe 13 innings, at that point, your arms are gassed. I mean, it's not about hey, it's the playoffs. Put everything on the line. I get that, and they did that. They did that over the 18 innings. But if it had went one more inning, just think we would have been seeing phenomenal baseball to just a mockery of the sport that we love. It would have been a mockery to have someone throwing 50 something mile an hour like little pop,
Ethis.
sock puppets. No, no, nobody wants to see that, bro. But I tell you what, the reason I voted a two and it wasn't more close to what Zeke's number was is because that was a phenomenal game, fellas. Did you see the highlights, the defensive plays? That's what baseball is all about. I want to see that. But I gotta say that I'm with Zeke. Like at a certain point, that has to be capped because nobody wants to get to that point where we make a mockery of the game. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, man. My argument wasn't to sway any of y'all. I don't care what y'all think, bro. My opinion was on
Ten
this.
toes
This
down.
is what I want to see. You know,
10
You
toes
Hey,
down.
young whippersnappers don't respect the game that I love.
whatever, man.
Get
All
off my
right.
lawn with
I'm
that
getting
jibber
soft, man.
jabber.
People getting soft, man. We can't have these guys throwing 55 miles an hour and blah blah blah. It's like, so what if they breaking people's windshields in the parking lot because dudes are throwing 50 mile an hour change ups, man? What are you gonna do, man? It's like, what are you gonna do? Be
Dave,
better.
you front, man. Don't nobody want to see that. We don't even want to see that in the regular season, bro. Don't nobody want to see that. All right. Let's keep it moving. I think that was a fun
Uh,
topic. Um, legalize gambling, or legalize sports gambling. So why don't we throw that up on the screen? Um, I late last week, or right, I think it was almost right after our podcast, wasn't it? Like the very next day or something. The director of the FBI, Cash Patel, goes up on the stage, and he announces that they are looking into and we've been talking about this on the pod. I mean, we're 39 episodes in at this point, And we probably mentioned gambling in sports like maybe 3 or 4 different episodes. We've been talking about this, about how this is a problem. And it's even more so after the FBI unleashed a multi-year probe into gambling that involved not just sport legend, basketball Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, but it also involved, I think it was former Heat, former was it Detroit Pistons player Terry Rozier, among other players, as well as Damon Jones. Damon Jones, who famously has played with LeBron James on multiple teams. And so this probe involved, crazy enough, like the mafia, like names we haven't heard in like forever. Like, some people maybe didn't even know that they were still out there and existed, but they were operating these illegal gambling rings from behind the scenes. And so we before I get into that, I wanted to throw it to because I see that the first part of this, I don't want to get into the first part of what we got up there on the screen. But since we've been talking about this so much, who is to blame for what we are now seeing in the sports that we love? Is corporate greed partly responsible? Anyone want to jump in first, or should I call on someone?
I'll run in there.
Yeah.
I for me, I think at the end of the day, you can make laws, you can set up guidelines and um, give people choice to make decisions in the most moral way. But at the end of the day, people are going to do what they do. And I can't say that you can blame corporate greed for people's decisions. At the end of the day, people decide to spend their money how they spend it. And if the option is available to them and they think that they can make some money on sports bets, whatever it may be, they're going to do it, and they're going to do whatever they do. I mean, how many times, I guess it's related but not related, how many times are you on the thruway and people are driving 10, 20, 30 miles over the speed limit? Right? It's regular, and it's just because people are making decisions. They know the rules. They know consequence. They know that there is a risk involved with bending the rules. They know that if they go ahead and bet their mortgage, there's a good chance that they could lose it, right? They know this, but people are going to do it regardless, and they'll find ways to do it. And so I can't say I blame corporate greed. I just blame people for being poor stewards of their finances.
This is something that I'm passionate about because we talked about this on previous episodes, and I've historically on this show have not come down as hard on the players as I feel the leagues are more responsible for this. And now major sports leagues, and it's been starting to get announced from different leagues, are starting to look into the types of bets that they allow.
Mm.
And so part of the problem is they have these kind of prop bets that they have been allowing, and these prop bets make it very easy for a single individual player to dictate results. And so that's what we had happen with the prop bet in the Cleveland Guardians, where you had Emmanuel Clase. A lot of people wanted to trade for this man. This man was absolutely balling, an amazing closer for the team. And he's throwing first pitch balls because you can do a prop bet on whether his first pitch is going to be a ball or a strike. The fact that they're allowing that is criminal. I think. And the fact that you're gonna now like blackball this man for life from the sport, when that should, to me, they should a player should never be put in that situation. As the sports league, personally, I think they have at least some kind of responsibility to protect these people. And I understand that, They have to have accountability for their own actions as well. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like you're making it too easy. And these people we're seeing are mafia people. You put a little bit pressure on someone and their family, they get into a little bit of debt. Are you gonna tell me that you made it so easy for them to say, bro, it's just a first pitch ball. It's just a first pitch ball. And the league doesn't take any responsibility. You want to kick that man out for life? I feel like they're not doing right by their players, and I'm very passionate about that. The NCAA may look into ban entirely. May look into ban gambling on their sport entirely. Of course, like you said, Josh, it's very hard to do. But I want the audience to take a look at this clip, and then we're gonna pass that question around to the panel here.
ESPN needs to divest immediately from ESPN Bet, and here's why. The NFL owns a piece of ESPN, meaning by default, they own a piece of the sports book. Well, you can't have it both ways, because if the NFL benefits from you losing your wager, then they're incentivized to control the outcome of games because it means more money in their pockets.
Yes.
Meaning they have a financially vested interest now in you losing whatever wager you make on NFL games. Meaning it's more likely for someone to say, hey, if there's $1 gazillion on team X to cover, it's in our best interest that they don't cover. Make sure the referees call a game a certain way.
Yes.
Now, I'm taking liberties there, of course,
Right.
but that's the problem. When you want people to never question your integrity, you can't own a piece of a sports book, and they do. Number two, if you're an on-air personality at ESPN, you should not be allowed to market picks or suggest people follow your picks, because as an employee of now the NFL, you have access to inside information. Your employer does better when they make more money, giving you a chance to make more money. So you're now vested in people following your picks and losing.
Man,
Yeah. Okay. And to add a little bit more context to this, when ESPN themselves, and this was a controversy that was spreading throughout social media, when ESPN was making commentary on what the FBI was saying, and they were criticizing, the people involved, they had to magically remove the ESPN bet logo from the ticker at the bottom of their screen. Fellas, so do you think ESPN needs to divest? I'll throw it to you first, Zeke.
Yes, to an extent. Like you said, if you own a portion of the NFL and you're tied in to that level financially, then you should probably step away from promoting and pretty much owning a sports book for that sport. Um, Listen, I don't feel as strongly as you about this. Um, I don't. You talking about grown men who go out and make a decision to do this? It would be just as easy for them to go to law enforcement or get some kind of help. Like, hey, this is what's going on. What can y'all do to help me, right? Why does it have to be, oh, you made it too easy for me to throw a first pitch ball, or to throw up some air balls to make sure I missed a certain amount of shots or created a certain amount of turnovers. Like, if you're in a situation where you're being squeezed, go get some legal help. Don't, because now you're affecting everybody involved. You're out there playing a game and playing it a certain way where you're causing your team to lose. That's affecting your teammates. That's affecting the owners. That's affecting the fans, who the fanatics are in a certain mood when you lose. That's just it's. I don't necessarily want to say it's selfish, but there was definitely another way to go about it. Um, so yeah, as far as like the NFL or ESPN divesting from gambling in the NFL realm, yes, because like we said, because of the stake that they now have and the partnership they now have with the NFL. But to put this all on corporate greed, um, when I first heard about this, the first thing I thought about was First Timothy 6:10, the love of money being the root of all evil. This you talking about dudes who they're not making chump change. This isn't we're not talking about the 12, 13, 14 guys on the roster. We're talking about Emmanuel Clase, like you said, one of the top closers in the game. Chauncey Billups, Hall of Famer, made plenty of money as a player and as a coach. Terry Rozier, Scary Terry, made plenty of money as a player. Damon Jones, he was in the league for a minute. I'm sure he has a good chunk of change to his. If you look up his basketball reference or whatever, be able to see how much money he made over his career. But sometimes some players, when they get to that level, they always want more. They're always looking for some kind of competitive advantage. They always want more. They always want more, and that love of money causes them to go and do these things. I'm not gonna blame the leagues for trying to give players or give fans another reason to be engaged in these games. That's like saying we gotta get rid of fantasy football or fantasy baseball. That's all gambling. That's just another form of gambling that nobody likes to vilify because it's fun and it seems harmless. But that's another form of gambling. Some of these leagues are big money and people get in way too deep, just like they do with poker games or card games or prop bets. So I mean, if you're gonna get rid of some gambling, you gotta get rid of all of it. And I don't think that's gonna happen. So these players need to definitely be held accountable for their actions.
So Zeke,
I'm not the
you started off your comment saying yes, but now it sounds like you kind of shifted.
no, because the question was should ESPN divest from gambling, right?
Yeah.
And I said in the realm of the NFL because of their partnership with the NFL, yes, they should.
Hmm.
But other than that, that's the only reason I think not necessarily to protect the players, but to
Gotcha.
protect the integrity of the league.
All right. I mean, I guess I just got a bleeding heart for the players because I see it as like, yeah, you could say that quote Timothy against the players, but why not against the league? I mean, we went decades, baseball more than 100 years. We never had a partnership with a gambling organization. You used to have to go all the way to Las Vegas, which is why it became branded as Sin City to place
And it
these
was
kind of
still a
bets.
problem all the way to the back in the days of Shoeless Joe Jackson
Right.
and
But I
Pete
mean,
Rose.
but
And I
the
mean,
level that we're
players were
seeing
still going to
today,
find a way to gamble on the game, man. They're going to find a
yeah,
way.
Dave.
Yeah. So Zeke, I kind of want to counter that argument. Back then there was the seediness to it because it was underground, man. You had the street bookies and stuff like that. The legalized gambling basically took the street bookies out of the game, and the street bookies are now the politicians. Okay, the politicians who are agreed to have legalized gambling take place in their states, who are now lining their pockets with kickbacks from legalized sports gambling, and then it trickles down. So there is a level agreed to it because this stuff had to be agreed upon. The league had to go to the different states and say, "Hey, this is what we want to do. You have a team in this state, and this is how much money you're going to get." Um, the way I'm seeing it is they lined them up and said, "Who's which politicians do we need degrees in order to make this happen?" And then it happened. So you have it across the board. Legalized gambling brought it brought it out of the sewers. It brought it above board. So when Shoeless Joe Jackson and them were doing all this stuff, they were dealing with street level cats, and it was indeed illegal. Now it's not. And for me, I absolutely, you guys know I've been bringing this up since we've been doing this podcast. I've said the chickens are going to come home to roost with this gambling stuff. I've been saying it, man, and And I'm telling you, this is just the tip of the iceberg, bro. This thing is going to touch so many different areas. It's the NBA is just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to go on to touch so many other areas, um, including I honestly believe it's going to start including things like the sports card hobby. Um, I believe that it's at some point this is going to trickle over into that things of that nature. So for me, ESPN absolutely should not. Um, they definitely should divest, and they should not be any part of this. You know, the big thing that Craig Carton said was when you have the employees of ESPN telling people or sharing their prop bet, um, predictions and what they're betting on. I'm like, are you serious? Like, why are they allowed to do that? Like, that's insane to me. It's just. But again, man, it's the cockiness. They've gotten so cocky with this thing, man, because there's so much money involved. They're like, who's gonna stop us? We do what we want. We make the rules. We're in lockstep with the head honchos, the NFL. Like, we're part owners. We can do what we want. And there's so much wrong with them being involved in, first of all, in having a stake in the NFL, and then having access to the information that they have when they're doing these meetings, going out and they're doing these meetings with players, before games and stuff. They're getting insider info. They worried about Tom Brady getting insider info, being an owner and then being an analyst. These cats are like literally going in week to week. They're going and sitting with players and they're interviewing these players and they're getting reports. They're getting these injury reports because they're there, because they're with ESPN and they're there. So you don't think that they're using that to hedge their bets and to make better bets for themselves and for the people that are saying, hey, listen, check out my prop bets and blah blah blah. It's I'm telling you, man, it's a house of cards. It's a huge house of cards, and it's about to come tumbling down.
Mm-hmm.
That's facts, bro. And so, like, on a side note, like, I don't think we got this clip, but it was starting to get widely reported on the David podcast, where he brought up an interesting angle to this whole scenario, where he was talking about how since Damon Jones, a known LeBron James friend, and basically joined him on every single team, right? And so like they were attached at the hip. That LeBron James, who has Maverick Carter as his, I forget the sports agency that they run,
Clutch Sports.
Clutch Sports, where they have Clutch Sports, and it was not reported, but the interesting angle that he brought up is that like Maverick Carter has a history of gambling that he confessed to, and if they tie that man into this whole ordeal, how short of a run is it then to go after the king? And so you might start to see some really big names get taken down. And the thing that gets me upset, and this is all, just speculation and allegedly, it's probably a very low percentage. But the thing that gets me upset is they're like, bro, like, you're going to ruin people's careers because of how close you're putting everyone's hand to the fire. You're putting everyone's hand to the fire, and you're telling me you better not touch.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like they're doing. Is they're like you got sports franchises in Vegas, and then you're putting these logos everywhere. You got these people on their cell phones in the stands making prop bets right there on the spot. Like, to me, like, these leagues need to take some accountability for this, and I hold them primarily responsible. Because like they shouldn't be putting those players in that kind of position. I just think if I was a player, you know what I mean, and you got your cousin is just there, like, man, I'm really down on it, man. Can you just throw a first pitch ball? bro. That's crazy, bro. You want to help people out. You know what I mean?
So the
If
PBD
that's the
thing.
case, if you're a player and your cousin is financially in trouble, write him a check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing for me, the PBD thing. I get what his angle on the angle that he was taking it. It's the House of Cards angle. You know what I'm saying? It really is.
Right.
It's a House of Cards, and it is going to come crashing down. But the thing with LeBron, the percentage they were talking about, the percentages that he could get tied to anything. They were like less than 1%. They think, but it's the optics for me.
Right.
I couldn't care less if LeBron James got tied to it, or him and Maverick Carter got tied to it or not. I don't care about that. It's the long game, and LeBron James's long game is he wants to own his own franchise, his own NBA franchise, and he wants
In
to put it
Vegas.
in Vegas. He wants to put it in Vegas, right? So how bad do the optics look on LeBron wanting to own an NBA team? He wants to put it in Vegas, and his partner at Clutch has admitted to having a gambling problem. And when they asked him, had he ever bet on Laker games, his response was, "I don't recall if I did or not." Like if you did or didn't, man, it's like. So I'm not here to get on him and then accuse him of anything, but the optics don't look good when you've admitted that you had a gambling issue, and then they ask you if you ever bet on Laker games, and you say you can't recall if you did or not. That's a problem, man. And it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for Bron, and it doesn't look good. You know what else doesn't look good? Out of all of the articles of clothing that Chauncey Billups could have wore coming out of booking, he had on
Mm.
a Clutch Sports hoodie, and he had this look on his face like, "Okay, y'all come get me." Or it didn't look good, man. It didn't look good seeing Chauncey Billups coming out of booking with a Clutch Sports hoodie on. It's just, I'm telling you, man, the optics are bananas, man. And you just take it for whatever for what you will, But these dudes, man, I'm telling you, they are like. And here's another thing. Let me just add this. A lot of people are trying to tie the money. Like, why would they do it? It's so little money. It's so little money. Gambling is an addiction, bro. And
Hmm.
it doesn't matter if you black, white, or candy stripe. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, cajillionaire,
Yep.
or a thousandaire.
Yep.
It's the
Or,
second time we
saying?
heard cajillion
Or you got.
tonight, man.
It don't matter if you got dozens of hundreds. Okay, seriously, man. If you have a gambling problem, man, it's gonna affect you. If you're just a blue collar, hardworking person, or if you're a billionaire, man, it's gonna affect you the same. It's a disease, you know.
Yep.
So
That's wild, Dave. Dozens of hundreds. That sounds like so much money, and it's just all
1,200
right.
bucks.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. I think we exhausted that. Unfortunately, it just feels like this topic is going to come up over and over again, and I think that's part of the problem. But let's go ahead and go to the weekly roundup.
For sure. All right. Here we go. Down on the bottom. Weekly roundup.
I can't see it. Is it up there?
Yep. All right. So here we go. Is the NBA ready for a female head coach?
ooh, yes.
Hmm.
Why not?
I
Yeah. Why
think
not?
I think some NBA fans might be. I don't know if the NBA is. I think if they were, it would have happened already.
I mean, we got an assistant
Yeah, we
coach.
already got
Yeah, we
assistant,
have.
right?
I
Becky
know
Hammond, right?
we had Becky Hammond. She's in Vegas now, winning championships.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
could definitely coach.
if the NBA was ready for a female head coach, she would have been the next coach for the Spurs.
Yeah,
But she's in Vegas winning championships with Asia Wilson. So I don't think the NBA is. If they were, it would have happened already.
yeah. This whole thing came about because of what Don Staley said. I think Don Staley would be a perfect uh, female head coach for the NBA. You know, I just think
She has the qualifications. She's been doing it for a long time. Sure.
and she can handle the backlash. Like she said,
Yeah.
the thing is, like, it's not a problem when with the coaching. It's like when they go on the 10-game losing streak. Oh,
First
can
thing they're
she?
gonna say is because she got a woman coach.
Yeah, yeah. But she can. I think that Dawn Staley is the perfect person to navigate that whole situation, man. I would love to see Dawn Staley get a head coaching job in the NBA.
Can I, since it seems like we're all in agreement here, let me play a little devil's advocate.
There we
As
go.
like,
That's your best role.
hey,
Let's go.
You set him
all right,
up.
Go ahead,
there,
Ike.
let's go. All right, let's have some fun with this. What do you think is the potential fallout from hiring a female coach? Because as we know, every single coach in every single league is usually on a 2 to 3 year leash before they get fired. Am I right, fellas? Pretty much every coach, 2 to 3 years, they're gone. Unless
Mhm.
you work for the Steelers, you're gone in 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah,
How you gonna do that with a female coach?
simple.
Fire.
Equal rights and lefts. You don't produce in 2 to 3 years, you out of here. And if you're signing on as a coach, a head coach, you got to understand that you don't want special treatment. You didn't want the special treatment on the other end. You didn't want extra emphasis to be put on the fact that you're a woman when you fail, and they say, "Oh, it's because you're a woman." So if you get fired after 2 or 3 years, you got to look in the mirror and say, "It's because I sucked and I wasn't up for the job." So yeah, you bring that on yourself. You know what you sign up for.
Yep.
So if everybody else knows that, all right, you got 2 or 3 years to kind of prove yourself, and if you go out there and you're below 500 every year, you're not even sniffing the playoffs, and your team isn't competitive for whatever reason. I mean, it could be a simple fact that, I mean, men can be jerks sometimes, and they probably wouldn't respect her authority as a woman, and they play down to the level because they're not buying into the fact that she's the head coach. But for whatever reason, you're not that right fit for that locker room, so you got to go. So yeah, if you get 2 or 3 years and you're showing no signs of improvement, or like no signs that this is the gig for you, you gotta go. I don't care if you're Don Staley or Phil Jackson, you gotta go.
Now, Zeke, that's the ideal, but I'm not saying that you're not 100% correct. But do you think there would be at least some backlash to the owner who does it first?
So again, if it's just like we said, Dawn Staley can handle the backlash or whatever she gets. I'm pretty sure these NBA owners will sit there and say, "Look, we gave her 3 years, and it's not looking good. This isn't a 10-year mercy project where we're just gonna keep giving you money and giving you money and giving you money, and the
Because
team
you're
is
a
just tanking
female.
and tanking and
Yeah.
tanking. This ain't trust the process. This ain't the 76ers.
Yeah.
All right. If it's not working after 2, 3, even 4 years, if it's not working, you got to go. We tried. Just like when the league drafted Michael Sam. You think they cared about the backlash from having to cut him? Because I don't think he played a regular season snap. They got the headlines for drafting the first openly gay player, but they weren't pressured into putting him on a roster or giving him a certain amount of plays or giving him a certain amount of time before they said, "All right, this ain't working." You show up in practice, you don't have it. Sorry, you can't play. I think it's the same thing. Don't They're not going to give in to the public backlash just for the sake of trying to save face. Just the risk, and I say risk, of hiring a female head coach is enough, and we're not going to take any more gambles on it. We're not going to keep you around just because you're a woman. We're going to treat
Yeah,
you just like you want to be treated. You want to be treated like everybody else. All right, we're going to treat you like
Want to be
everybody
fair and
else.
equitable?
If
Make
you're
it fair.
successful, you'll get that extension. If you suck, you gotta go.
Yeah.
yeah, phenomenal take, Zeke, and very good example as well. Let's jump to the next one, unless anyone wants to, expand on that. Uh,
Who is Mookie Betts in his bed thinking about?
oh my
Hopefully, his
goodness, I
wife.
saw that. Yeah.
Yo, put that up there, P.
Oh
Right.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts almost could have said pause to that reporter, bro.
Right.
So
That was crazy.
maybe we should give a little context to this. Maybe so the
Yeah. Go ahead.
reporter trying to give a little gloss to Shohei and Freddie's outstanding performance. If you recall, I believe
Was
this
this the
was right
18 inning
after.
game?
Yeah, this was right after Freddie hit the game-winning home run, right? Walk-off
Yeah.
home run, 18th inning World Series. Every kid dreams about it. Shohei goes 4 for 4 on base 8 times in a game. I don't think anyone's ever done that before, right? And so afterwards, the reporter, trying to get some comments to write in this column about Freddie Freeman and Shohei, says this: when you go to bed tonight, will you think about Shohei or Freddie? And of course, Mookie Betts says, bro, I'm probably not thinking about another man when I'm in bed.
Which was a long way of saying pause.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's yeah, yeah. That is the non-getaway of saying pause.
Crazy.
I ain't got nothing else
I
to
think
add to that, bro.
that's just an example of
That
a
was the
reporter
best
having a
answer.
mic and feeling like they got to fill that dead space with a dumb question.
Yeah, best answer.
Just imagine having the proximity to these players, man. Like you get,
And that's
you
what
get
you
this,
waste your time on.
right. You get this access, man, to the greatest players on earth, and this is the first question after 18 innings. You get to be in front of them and ask a question, and this is the question you gotta ask. Really? That's
Like
what you're. That's what's
you
on your
expect
mind.
that kind of stupidity during like Super Bowl media week, where you kind of go there expecting some outlandish questions because you got reporters from all over the world and they just want to make a name for themselves. Ooh, I spoke to Tom Brady and I asked him something stupid about yoga,
Yeah,
but this is probably some beat writer who was just tired and should have just stayed quiet. But nope,
that's
I'm
why
gonna.
you can't have 18 inning games, right, Zeke?
Oh
Bro,
yeah,
everybody
it's
was
3 in the
tired.
morning. That's right. 3 in the morning, cut the man some slack, man. But yeah,
Matter of
this
fact,
is
more
what
props to Mookie for not just flat out look at him and walk away on some old Russell Westbrook type stuff.
or yeah, James Harden too. Yeah.
And James Harden,
But
yeah,
yeah. But man, wow. Wow. Just wow.
that was
I
terrible.
mean, that was terrible.
Like you
Let's
gotta look
keep
at
it
that
moving,
reporter and
Josh,
say, be better.
That's craziness.
for sure.
Tom Aspinall suffers from eye injury after UFC 321.
So the controversy, fellas, regarding this is that that was a very hyped up fight. For those who don't know anything about MMA, Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion in the heavyweight division, and a lot of people wanted to see him actually fight John Bones Jones, who declined that fight, and instead he went and he fought Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane, I believe he's a French fighter. You might have seen him in one of those Netflix movies, but he's pretty well known as well. And so the fight was not going the champion's way, Tom Aspinall, in that first round. He was getting battered and he was bloodied up. But for whatever reason, my man Cyril Gane reaches out, maybe to measure distance, but he ends up double poking him in the eye. And now that's happened in UFC before because they don't have the kind of gloves that boxers do, where their fingers are actually exposed in MMA. And so that has happened before. And most fighters take their 5 minute recess where they can collect themselves and they go back to fighting. In this situation, that did not happen. He took his 5 minute recess and said, "I cannot see," and they called the fight.
No
So
mas.
if you spend all that money to watch that and it ends like that, you're upset. But
And he still has the belt, right?
he still has the belt because it's not his fault that it was an illegal eye poke, and so it was considered a no contest.
Yep.
But the controversy that we're hearing afterwards is the response of of the commissioner, Dana White. Dana White, instead of going to bat for his fighter, said like, yeah, he couldn't go anymore, right? Rather than just saying, they're like, man, like, like there's no way you should have like poked him in the eye. And so famous UFC reporter Ariel Helwani was calling out Dana White for not going to bat for his fighter, and summarily Tom Aspinall has been getting thrown underneath the bus. And so fellas, when it comes to the eye poke, did you guys? I don't know if you guys seen it, but do you think it was a show of weakness for either Tom Aspinall to drop out of that fight? Do you really think he should have gutted through it? Or do you think it was a show of weakness for Dana White to not have his fighters back?
Um, if I can, real quick, I'm gonna read a quote from Daniel Cormier, which kind of speaks to how I think about this fight or the outcome of this. Cormier said the rematch got a lot harder for Cyril Gane, regardless of if Tom respected him this time, because now Aspinall is going to know what Cyril Gane can do and has felt him. He's felt the speed and felt the athleticism. It's not a good look. Like you said, eye pokes happen all the time. They go to the corner, they shake it off, and they come back and fight. I think Aspinall knew he was in trouble. I don't think he really he respected him enough to give him the fight. I don't think he knew what he was dealing with until he got in the ring with Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is no pushover. He's a beast, and I think Aspinall kind of underestimated him a little bit. And when he got in there, that eye poke was kind of like a bit of divine intervention for your boy because it gave him an out. Like, yo, if I get back in here, I was probably gonna lose anyway. But now I can say, well, I can't see, so I can't fight. So yeah, I'm not gonna blame Dana White. Dana White, he's been kind of known to be one of those guys that doesn't BS a whole lot. Like he's gonna tell you, he's gonna say what he feels. He's gonna tell it like it is. So if he feels like Aspinall just was gassed or couldn't go or whatever, that's what he's gonna say. He's not gonna spin it any kind of way to cover Aspinall. Why would he?
Anyone else want to jump in on this one?
Yeah.
Nah,
I will just say this as a finishing comment is that it was just reported today that Tom Aspinall, according to the eye doctor, doesn't have any vision in his right eye, and he's about 50% or at least seeing gray in his left. So the double eye poke, according to his eye doctor, was pretty severe.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And so maybe he wasn't.
I want a second opinion. I want an independent analysis.
But not for nothing, Zeke. Your take was very on par with how Dana White felt. So I don't fault anyone for seeing it that way. But I think maybe when you're the commissioner, maybe you should just kind of throw your support behind, especially your champion, and kind of think at least a little bit more of him to not think he would, throw the fight. But, I digress. Do we got anything else on the roundup, Josh? right.
Yes. Yep. We have former NFL star Nick Mangold passes away.
R.I.P. to the homie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Have you seen Rex Ryan, former coach of the New York Jets, was live on air, literally crying in remembrance of his former Pro Bowl player. And so rest in peace to the homie.
41 years old, man.
R.I.P.
Very young. And before that, it was, if you guys don't know how he died, he was requesting anyone, former players, fans, to donate. I believe it was a kidney with O positive blood. And so he never received the donor, and he passed away at 41 years old. So, kind of a somber way to end that show. There's nothing else. That was the last one.
Nah, man.
Nope.
We fired Brian Kelly.
That's right.
I'm sorry, say that again.
About time.
LSU
fired Brian Kelly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to expand on that at all, Zeke or Dave?
Good riddance.
Long time coming.
Gotcha.
I've long since lost respect for that dude.
Been a clown since he was at Notre Dame, probably even before that.
Yep.
Former Eagles coach as well.
This is the same dude that showed up to the LSU press
That's
conference.
Chip Kelly.
Oh, that's Chip Kelly. Oh, I'm
Chris
sorry.
said they all look alike.
Did you see that?
Wabba?
When he showed up to the LSU press conference to accept the job, and he magically had a Southern accent.
All of one had an accent? Yeah. Like he grew up in New Orleans. No, bro.
How y'all doing?
You've been fake from the jump.
Toronto Blue Jays tack on 2 more runs, and they go up 5-1.
Yo, I played myself and looked up some tickets for a game up there. Man, please.
That bad,
Yeah.
huh?
Man, the cheapest ticket I saw was like $500, and that was like in the nosebleeds. Like
Yeah.
you gotta
You
What?
could
walk
get
up
in for
hundreds of
$500.
That's
steps
not
to get
bad,
up
bro.
there.
That's not bad at all.
I,
Yeah,
I
okay.
actually don't
Let me
think that's
hold
that bad,
$500, D.
You gotta remember, man.
bro.
I
Because
go to
like,
every game.
Yeah.
to get to Super Bowl tickets, it's like $10,000 to $20,000.
Yeah, okay.
Man, that's
Guess what?
crazy.
You come tell Tamika I just spent $500 to go watch a game that my team is not playing in.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you do
Yeah,
that for me.
It's
I'm
the
actually
World
surprised
Series.
there's any available.
Well, this was
Yeah,
like game one. I haven't checked for a game. It looks like it's gonna be game six.
I bet you it's
But
going
yeah.
I'm
way up.
comfortable watching from my living room
Yep.
Well, you guys
with
should
my
be
own
happy.
private bathroom.
The Toronto Blue Jays are on the verge of taking a 3-2 series lead, and then they
To
would
come
play the
home with
deciding,
a chance to win. I just
close it
hope they
out.
don't
Yeah.
fumble the bag like the Mariners did, man.
I hope not, man.
The
Now the
Mariners went
question
home
is,
with
of
a 3-2
course.
lead and just blah, 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 all over the place. So
Now the question is, of course. I think we can all agree, even if the Blue Jays win the series, you have to give the MVP to Shohei Ohtani.
Chris, don't start, man.
listen,
Trying to start
hold
some
on, because Shohei and all of his greatness gave up that 2-run home run to Vladimir Guerrero, and I have never seen somebody throw a meatball as lovely as Shohei Ohtani did. I mean,
We didn't
even
even
when he
show.
fails, he's great.
Look at that.
Look at that! Look at that!
Dang.
That's the photo of the game.
Look at
That
that.
needs to be a baseball card. That
It's
needs to
glad
be a
we're
Tops Now
doing it
card.
tonight, man.
But guys, we might have to have an emergency podcast. If the Blue Jays win the World Series and they hand this trophy to Shohei Ohtani, we might have to go live just to see Dave's hair melt off of his face, just completely eyebrows down to his cheeks and
Dude,
everything. It's gonna
I'm
be
starting to
epic.
lean days. I'm starting to leave days weight on how they cover this dude. They literally did a clip, timing him from going from the mound to get ready to hit, and it's like, oh my God, Shohei's a unicorn. I'm like, Greg Maddux used to do that all the time.
Bro, they put a
Like
timer on him. They
they
timed
put
him.
a timer on him. It took him 3 minutes and 9 seconds from throwing the last pitch, or from the last out being made to the first pitch being made, and I'm like, that's no big deal. That's what the National League used to do all the time.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. That's what fielders do all the time. Where you go? What do you think? How long does it take Ronald Acuna to jog from right field to get to the batter's box?
Fact.
Ooh, he's a unicorn. Nah, man.
Probably takes catchers longer, not for nothing, with all that equipment. But I digress.
We
Guys, we're
would
at
be
the one
remiss.
hour and
We
30
would be
minute mark.
remiss though if we didn't shout out the homie, Ernie Clement, man. Ernie Clement
Yeah,
is
that dude is
balling.
balling.
Rochester's own Ernie Clement.
585 stand up.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is batting like just under 400 in the playoffs, man. It's getting ridiculous. I took it upon myself, man. I picked up some Ernie Clement autographs from his rookie year. So that's one of them. And I got his Bowman Chrome here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Nice
That's
looking
dope.
cards, man.
Yeah, man. This is my favorite right here. Topps
They
Heritage.
forget it. I know where he live.
Topps
Yeah.
Heritage. There you go.
That's pretty dope how they do that.
It's pretty
That's
sweet.
what's up.
Yeah, man. So Ernie Clement, man, he's one of them utility guys, man. He just does his job, man. That's what I love about him, man. He's a solid third baseman. Come in and he just gets hits, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well,
Wait a second. We just got to close it out right here, Chris. It happened
Oh,
today.
Yeah.
It happened today.
okay.
Ready? So I'll read this off. In 2014 MLB World Series, the San Francisco Giants beat the Kansas City Royals 3-2 in Game 7 at Kauffman Field to win their third title in 5 years. Giants
Yep.
starter Madison Bumgarner was the
Mad
series
Bum.
MVP.
Yeah, we talked about Matt Bum on this show before. Much
Yeah.
respect.
Absolutely. And then we got one more here. Most three-pointers in a game. In
Get that off the screen.
In 2018,
Get that off
Golden
the screen.
State Warriors shooting guard Klay Thompson breaks NBA record previously held by teammate Steph Curry for most three-pointers in a game with 14 in a Warriors win 149 to 124 over Zeke's Bulls.
See, this is why y'all caught me slipping. Because if I was on my game and was choosing it happened today, this would have never made it.
Uh-huh.
Never. But
Uh-huh.
I got love for Clay, man. I
Bum,
mean,
bum, bum.
Big
Clay Thompson, he does some legendary stuff in Golden State, and
play.
I got
Living his
respect
best
for
life
him.
right now, man.
I ain't want to talk about off the court, but Clay is
No, I'm just
enjoying
talking about
life.
he's on
Yes.
another team, man. You don't have to worry about being under the shadow of Draymond and
It was definitely Draymond. Don't say Clay, because Steph and Clay was like they was like Batman and Superman. That wasn't Batman and Robin. They both had their own shine.
yeah.
Draymond was like the thing. I don't know, just there
All
for
right, fellas.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
well,
think it's
we had
past
fun
Chris
today.
bedtime. We gotta go.
Big time.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Push us out of here.
Um,
Gotta get his jammies on.
that's right. Can't go 18 innings on the podcast, bro. You don't want to start throwing in substitute hosts and
Y'all tripping, man. We got
commentators.
another 7 hours to go, man.
Nah.
Please.
All right, fellas. All right, make sure you check us out next week, and we'll probably be recapping the end of the World Series at that point, as well as everything that happened in Week 9 and much, much, much more. We appreciate you joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check us out on our Facebook page. We've been trying to post a lot more stuff up on there. Share it with your friends and family, and we hope to see you guys here next week. Thank you for joining the Opps SportsCast.
Yes, sir. We out.
Peace.
Deuces.